Hello, dwarfs and dwarfettes. This is Jury Duty Summons, and today I wanted to talk about building a good area for the dwarves to hang out in, and not hang out in. I just got a migration, and so I wanted to build an area for the dwarves to live. Right now, I just have them dug out in dirt, and see you can see right there. It's just dirt. That's you know it works and it's better than just a dormitory, but it's not good for the long run. And so I want to get them somewhere better to stay. So we went down a ways. So there's the crafting area currently. I left one level between these two, and that'll allow me to do something with that later on that I'm not ready to talk about yet, but it'll be in a later video. Anyway, okay, so here's what I did. I want to do something a bit artistic around the stair shaft, and so I left these columns here. Once they are smooth, they'll actually be round, or they'll look like they're round in the texture pack. So that'll look nice, I think. Also, okay, so here is going to be the new dining hall, and it's going to be very large. It's going to hold a ton of tables. And once it's all smoothed and it has really nice tables and some statues, it'll be a legendary dining hall, which will make the dwarves very happy. This is going to be a bit of a dormitory, and so there'll be rows of beds in here. Maybe like that. I think this needs to be a little bit taller. There we go. That'll be good. Anyway, and then onto the side, I'm going to have an area for prepared food, so prepared meals, and an area for booze. And so this will be the main place the dwarves will be getting these from. And I'll show you a trick. There's a way to set it up so the booze stockpiles will refill from one another. So let's see here. Also, this is going to be the new bedroom complex, and so this is the style I did before, which is my preferred style. But there's also a couple different other ways you can do it. And so you can see here, this is 4 tiles. That's a decent sized bedroom, but it's actually really bigger than you necessarily need. So you can even go as, you can even go as small as just so 2 tiles. So the door plus 2 tiles, and that's probably about as small as you want to go for happy dwarves. So door and the 3 tiles. That's not a bad way to go. The advantage is you're going to get a lot more packed into the same space. And so if you look from here to there, and from there to there, it's the same distance. But on this side we have 14 bedrooms, on this side we have 10. And so there's a bit of a space difference. And that really does matter, because it means that a dwarf will have, if we were going to have 14 out, so 2 more rows, that means the dwarf who lives in the end bedrooms has to walk farther to get to wherever they're going. And so that's something to think about. You can also do a shape like that. So if you have weird spaces like this, you can put bedrooms in there. And since I like to keep things symmetrical, I'm going to put together prepare some bedrooms for some of the nobles will have at some point in the near future. And so we'll make those, we'll make them 3 by 3 for now. But later we'll probably want to have bigger bedrooms for the nobles. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the dwarves start digging that out. There they go. And then I'm going to get some doors and some tables and some chairs and all the stuff that it's going to need to go in there. Get all that building. And then I will unpause once we get to a point where I want to show you guys what's been done. Oh yes, and one other thing I wanted to point out, one other trick I wanted to point out, is that dwarves don't actually care whether or not someone else walks through their bedroom. And so you can dispense entirely with a hallway. And so we have the bedrooms, and we only have that 1 tile between each one, and that will save us a bunch of doors. So for this entire complex, we're just, this entire complex of what, 16... of 12 beds, 12 rooms, we only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doors, and these dwarves will be perfectly fine with that. And so that's another way of economizing a little bit if you want to make that quicker. I just want to point that out. Yep, I'm going to pause for a minute here, let the dwarves do their thing. We'll be right back. All right, the dwarves have finished all their hard work digging and hauling out rocks. So now it's my turn to actually start putting things down, and there's a few things I wanted to do. While they were digging, I have built a bunch of tables, a bunch of doors, and a bunch of beds. So that's, of course, going to be good. Oops, what am I doing here? There we go. All right, and so I want to start putting beds in there. And one thing I want to talk about is room quality. The reason why we're doing this, why we're giving dwarves their own bedrooms rather than just a large dormitory, is that dwarves care about the quality of the rooms that they're being given. And it makes a difference in terms of keeping the dwarves happy. And so there's different things you can do to increase or decrease the value of a room. Okay, how do I want to save for that? I'm running out of beds. I didn't make enough, apparently. So I have 8 beds right now, so that's good for now. Yeah, so giving dwarves bedrooms gives them happy thoughts. So they like... So a dormitory would be sufficient, but for the purposes of happy thoughts and whatnot, it's a good idea to give them bedrooms. And happy thoughts keeps them from tantruming and breaking stuff and killing other dwarves. I'm not going to have enough doors either. Oops, there's nobody in that room yet. There we go. Alright, and and the same thing happens with the dining room. And so you want to have a really nice dining room. And some ways to do that, besides having good... some ways to do that is to have high quality, not beds, but tables, to have high quality furniture in the room. And also... making sure that everything is smoothed. So if you have smoothed, and even engraving helps a lot too. So let's do this. Right there. The doors will be part of the room value, but it's not really what they're for. Just trying to help control access and whatnot. If I want to lock somebody in there, that's easy to do. Even a tantruming dwarf will pay attention if you lock a door. Alright, so let's put the tables down. We'll do chairs. Or thrones, rather. Can I fit more in here? Turns out I can't fit nearly as many as I was hoping at first, but that's okay. So when you're designing these, you want a chair and a table paired together. A dwarf will use a table without a chair, but that'll lead to a bad thought. So we want to avoid that. And chairs and tables don't actually block the path. Dwarves can walk over them, so it's okay. Let's see here. So that's about all we're going to fit in there. That's actually quite a few, though, so that's good. We'll have a lot of... that room will be able to service a lot of dwarves. And so the other thing I wanted to do is set a stockpile. So we're going to change it to a food stockpile. We're going to do another one over here. And then we want to change this, the settings on it. We're going to go through here and we're just going to hit block all. And then we're going to hit U to enable prepared food. So this stockpile will only accept prepared food. So that's perfect. That's what we want. And over here, we're going to change this one to only accept booze. So B for block all, and then specifically turn on drinks. So hit P for permit. There we go. We don't have any meads yet, but that's something we might have sometime later. So we'll leave that enabled. So you can see U is so at the bottom right. Let's move my mouse right over here. If that is highlighted, then that means this will take food, and you could throw off your stockpile if you're not careful. Okay. All right, the last thing on this is the take from a pile. So hit T, and you can designate what pile you want this one to take from. So that is the booze stockpile. So you want it to take from this booze stockpile. There we go. So it takes from the food stockpile 5, which is all booze. This stockpile up here is just general food, except for drinks. Doing this helps keep your food supplies organized properly, and helps you keep an idea of how much you have. So let's do that as well. Up a couple levels. I'm actually gonna leave, even as I expand down and I move some of my industry down underground, I'm gonna leave this area as a food generating area. All right, so that takes from that pile. And so what that means is those two stockpiles, whenever anything's put in here, if the stockpiles have space, it'll pull from there. Since this stockpile does have some prepared food, like this stuff right here, the dwarves will move that down to the other stockpile. And a lot of this booze will probably move down immediately. We'll see. And since we have a new dining hall, we're going to disable this dining hall in a minute here and probably take up these chairs and stuff. Because we would rather have the dwarves be in the happy dining hall than in the crappy one. Happy, crappy. It's a pun! Alright. And the last thing we want to do, since we want to increase the value of the room, I'm going to designate and then hit smooth. That increases the value of every tile that you smooth. And it compounds pretty good. So this is going to increase the room value pretty good. Let's see. Like that. There we go. And then when that's finished, we can actually engrave. So let me go up here, back to here. So you can see how some of this floor is smoothed. So conglomerate cavern floor, and then smooth conglomerate floor. The smooth floor is much nicer. Doors like it. And then once it's smoothed, you can actually engrave it. And that's my engraver right there, and he is busy away smoothing the floor. I would like to point out something, in case you ever noticed. Smoothing doesn't require a tool. So that means these dwarves are actually smoothing the floors by hand. It's quite a task, trying to smooth a hardwood floor by hand. Come on, bring the tables down. Hurry up, dwarves. Oh, and as I mentioned before, the material matters. And so you can see the conglomerate throne right here. Let's view. I can't view it for some reason. There we go. So that conglomerate throne, you can see the little icon there, is valued 50. And this marble throne with the same icon is worth 100. So the material does matter a bit. Most stone types are going to be valued the same. Marble is special. Marble and chalk and ores. Ores are valuable too. Although you typically don't want to make a table or a crafting item like this out of ores. And by default, the game won't do it by default. So there we go. We have enough now. I'm going to make this into whoop. Is that the right one I did? No, we don't want a throne room, so we want to find a table, make it into a dining room. There we go. And meeting hall. There we go. The dwarves will love it. And when we finish, when the engraver finishes with the main dining room, I'm going to engrave all these bedrooms as well, smooth them out. And when the dwarves sleep in them, they'll be very happy because they have a nice, happy wall. You'll notice there's some gems in the wall. Don't worry about that. That's actually a good thing. Don't worry about mining those out. Those gems in the wall will in fact increase the value of those rooms. And so these two bedrooms right here with this gem wall and the gem floors are going to be quite valuable. Not like super high-end valuable, but they'll be better than nothing, Actually, the fact that they're out of marble is going to help too. Well, anyway, once the economy is set up, it's I don't think it's in the game right now, but at a certain point, It's going to simulate the fact that dwarves will have to pay rent for their bedrooms and have to pay for the food they eat, but they'll get paid based on the jobs they do, and so there'll be a whole economy set up. And so having bedrooms of of varying value is a good thing. For the mason, for the smoothing job guy here, he's going to have a lot more resources available, so he'll be able to afford a much better bedroom. Which reminds me that I wanted to set up a dormitory here. How do I want to do that? Bad. Alright, and we have statues. Statues are great for increasing room values, and dwarves like to look at them, so they have multiple benefits. And maybe a couple marble ones, so we'll just use those. When you're placing a building like this, you can actually hit X to look at the different types. Look at the exact one you're putting down. And so you can see the varying value symbols next to them. I don't remember exactly what they are, but if you hit V, you can look at what the basic value is on it. And even hit V again to see what it actually is. So this is a statue of some kind of bronze colossus here. Oh, it's a statue of a human and a bronze colossus fighting. Well, that's special. And we can actually add statues to the main dining hall as well. But what I want to do is I want to put the statues over here. But you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I want to finish smoothing this room first before I do that. But at one point, I'll do that at some point. And then in the future, is put the statues in this room around these pillars, so that way as the dwarves walk past them, they can appreciate their fellow dwarves' handicraftness. Alright, everybody, this video is getting a little longer than intended, but I think I've covered some pretty good topics here. If you have any questions or you have a suggestion, I do have some more dwarves now that we have a migration, so if you want a dwarf named after you, just let me know. Let's see what we have here. Oh, that's my nobles menu. That's not what I wanted. Units menu. There we go. So you can see there's some more dwarves here. A couple gem cutters. All sorts of stuff. So there you go. Alright, let me know. Have a nice evening, everybody.